So in Rhino, we have been using NURBs modeling. All right. So let's say we want to create a sphere, for example. So this sphere, if you type what, it's telling you that it's a surface. Yeah. And if you convert this, I'm going to say mesh. I'm going to convert this mesh with a very low amount of polygons. Then select the last one. And then this one, and then type what? It says it's a mesh. All right. And these NURBs, I'm going to say mesh again, and I'm going to increase the amount of polygons. Say OK. Say last. And then this is a lot more smoother. Do you see? And then I can say mesh, and I can increase this to maximum. Let's see how much I can get. Say OK. Say last. So do you see the difference? So this is a NURBs model, and these are mesh models. And mesh is, by default, mesh models are straight. Mesh surfaces are straight. Do you know the difference between a vector image and a pixel image? Right? Mm-hmm. Pixel image, if you zoom in to a pixel image, you will see boxes, a lot of boxes, right? But if you zoom into a vector image, you can see the curves forever, right? Because curves, vectors are mathematics. It's defined by a mathematics algorithm. So this by default is a NURBs. It's like a vector. Yeah, you can zoom in forever to see the curves. Do you get it? But the mesh models, you define the smooth level. Yeah, and you zoom in and you can actually see the kinks. If you zoom in, you can actually see the kinks. Do you get it? You zoom in, even if it's so smooth, you zoom in, you will see the kinks, right? So that's polygon, sometimes called polygon, sometimes called mesh. This is NURBs. So that's the difference between polygon modeling and mesh modeling. Because of the nature of their difference, the modeling process is different. All right. But just so you know, there are pros and cons, but what do you think this polygon is good for compared to this one?
If you want specific adjustments, like if you want specific details, you can have more details. But for NURBs, it's purely mathematic, so sometimes it limits the amount of detail you can have.
I would say you can add details for both, yeah. But I would say the good thing about mesh models are because they are lighter. Yeah. That's the only thing for now you can consider. Yeah. So these are so defined, they are much more precise, but they are heavier because they have to carry a lot of details. Yeah. So they have to be curvy forever. But this one doesn't have to consider that much details. But good thing is that they are so light. Okay, but of course the cons is that you have to understand there is this kinks. All right, so just remember mesh is lighter and they are more undetailed, and NURBs are heavier and they are much more defined and more precise. Okay, and Rhino is a NURBs modeling software. It's good for this thing, and it's defined by profiles. I'm not going to talk about the modeling technique here, but I'm just telling you that Rhino is good for dealing with NURBs models. Maya, 3D Max, Cinema 4D, Blender, they are good for modeling these types of models. And ZBrush is good for even heavier mesh production and editing. Okay. So this one, so whatever you have, if you have your model, you have to convert it to mesh and try to find a good resolution for you. So before you mesh it, just try different options and see what is not so heavy, but also not so kinky. So find a good balance for your own model before you export it. Okay? Because Unity is going to receive your mesh models. It's not going to receive NURBS models. So you are developing a NURBS model and exporting it as mesh, and you are going to import that to Unity. Okay?